Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. My opponent has opened with Chi, and I have a balanced rack with scoring letters in the F and the H. I don't have a bingo, and I don't have an N to hook onto the end of Chi to make chin. Nor do I have an I to put to the right of the Q. But I do have this. I have far and if for 22 points, and the rack cleave of A, E, G, L is probably the best I can hope for. Yes, I can't see anything better than that. Or can I? What about half? That's 22 points, but half is one more point. I quite like keeping the A with the G and the E because there's reasonable synergy there with the A, G, E endings. And I think half also makes the triple word square at 08 more accessible. So I'm going to forego the extra point and play far. And I have a bingo. I have égalité. There's nowhere to play it at the moment. Let's see if my opponent creates an opening. I do have a 5-letter word playing onto the triple word square at 08. I have étage, where my opponent has just played. Now, my opponent has not provided any openings for me to play égalité, but he has provided 3 floaters, L, E and R. So do I have an 8-letter bingo using one of those? I feel that there is one with the R. Yeah, and I think it's a word which has just been added to the official word list. Now let's see if I can spell this correctly. It's literage, and it's either R-E or E-R. I think it's this way round. Not a great score, but a bingo is a bingo. But was there anything through the L? Can't see anything through the L or the E, so I think literage is the only bingo which plays. I'll just scroll down to keep track of my opponent's score and to see if he challenges. I've picked up 3 O's, which isn't good. But the O's do go quite nicely with the W. I have woo and wood and woody. There is the triple letter score at N10, just above the A of literage, where the Y can be played. But I can't see any great spots for woody, which would be a nice play in terms of the rack leave of O and R. Alright, my opponent's played F, E. Oh yes, very nice, thank you very much. Just the place to play woody. That's 37 points. Is there anything better? I don't think there is. It's very nice to be able to get rid of the W and the Y. Neither of those letters are ones that you'd want to retain on your rack if you can play them off. So I think 37 points is very nice. I'll take that. And I pick up the Z. And there are 2 fabulous places to play it. There's the first O of woody. I can play ZO, ZO, and oo. And there's also the A of literage, where I can play Zaza and Ag. So that has worked out extremely well indeed. And in whichever one of those I play, I've got a good rack leave for next go. So everything is looking good. I'm wondering if I can use the Z spot above the A of literage to play a 5-letter word that extends to the double word square at N14. It would have to begin ZA. I don't think there is one, but looking at the board, Zap in that position would be better than Zar. Okay, my opponent has taken out that spot, but I do still have the spot up here for Zo. But is there something better? That scores 64 points, which is higher than anything I'm going to get by playing a 5-letter word from the D of woody onto the triple word square at H15, even if I do use the Z. For example, Dazer would be 48 points, so Zo is superior to that. But if I have a word ending AZ, then I could make AW as well, and that would score more. But is there any such word? Well, I can't see it. And the rack leave here is pretty good, so I think I'm going to play this. And my rack is looking good, but it's not great. There isn't a 7-letter bingo there. I don't think there's an 8 onto the L of literage. There aren't any other floaters that are readily available. If I could play off the O, the U and the P, I would have a very nice leave in A, D, E, R. Well, that's nice, 39 points. And 3 new floaters. The E isn't particularly helpful because I already have 4 vowels. But the L, uploader. Uploader, is that good? Uploader. And then there's the T. I can't see anything through the T. I am drawn to uploader. But I'm not convinced that it's good. But what is good is poulard. I'm sure of poulard. So I think uploader's good. Poulard is good. 65 points. Yeah, I'm going to go with poulard. And I draw the first blank, which is good. But with the V and the duplicate I and the K, I don't think there's a bingo there. Well, there would be with the right floater though, because there would be devilkin with an E or an L. Unfortunately, the L of literage is not in the right place for devilkin. And I've blocked the E of dwelt by playing poulard. I'm 127 points in the lead, which is good. And the board is not particularly open in terms of providing opportunities for my opponent to come back with a bingo. So I'm in a reasonably strong position. It would be nice to use one of the triple word squares at A15 or O15, especially as I've got such high scoring tiles as the K and the V. But I think the best I can do is dink and ed onto the E of poulard, which would be 38 points or thereabouts. I could use the blank as an E and play knived, starting at A15. That may be worth thinking about if the dink play is blocked. I don't normally like playing the blank unless it's part of a bingo, but a rough rule of thumb is that the blank is worth about 25 points. So if I can find a play with the blank, such as knived, which scores 25 points more than the next best play, I should give it serious consideration. And my opponent has played hunt, so he has taken out the dink spot, and he's scored 42 points, so he's only 85 points behind now. Let's see what knived scores. That's 57 points. That is almost as many points as you'd get for a bingo. I think the lowest scoring bingo is around 58, 59 points. So that's pretty good, and apart from the blank, the rest of the rack is not particularly bingo friendly, and it does deny my opponent the opportunity of using that particular triple word square. So I think I am going to play this. And I draw duplicate A's and R's, which isn't great. But the board is getting nicely blocked up, which is good when you're 120 points ahead. So what I'd like to do is carry on scoring reasonably well without opening the board. I'd like to resolve the duplicates on my rack and also play off the B. Although there aren't any or aren't many bingo lanes on the board, there is a hotspot in the triple letter square immediately above the eye of literage. That's not good. As in, not a good play. Not that the words aren't valid. Now the trouble with a play like beer is that the play is good, but what's bad is the leave. But 27 points is good, and it seriously blocks the board up. It denies the L of literage, it denies the hotspot of the triple letter square where the B is. And the duplicate A isn't disastrous. Yeah, I think given how blocked the board is, the blockingness of beer, given my lead of 120, and the high score of 27 points justifies the leave, which is poor. So I will go with beer. And I'm rewarded with an extra A to make a triplicate A and a duplicate R. But if the board grinds to a halt with few scoring opportunities, I don't really mind. I'm 130 points ahead, 140 points ahead. So a tight board is a good thing for me. I noticed that the EH created by playing Hunt takes an R in front, just when my opponent has played Poi. But it's good, he's not opening the board. So although I don't want to open the board, I do want to improve my rack. How can I do that? Well, I'm looking at playing double A, and there's a couple of spots I can play it. I can play it parallel to knived for 10 points, or I can create R and ab down here for 12 points. That doesn't open the board, and it stops my opponent putting, say, a J in front of iffy to make Joe or jar and jiffy, so it does obstruct the board a little more. There probably is a better play. but I can't see it, and I'm running a little low on time, so I think, yeah, I think I'm reasonably content with this move. And my duplicate R matures into a triplicate R, which ordinarily would be quite irksome, but given the blockedness of the board and my lead of 100 points, it's not terrible. Well, my opponent's played quite quickly. He's got the X. He's played Ox for 31 points, which does bring him closer. But I still don't want to open the board. But I'm at the stage where the plays I can make are dismally low in terms of their score. Rats, is this really the best I can do? £6 points, that's pathetic. 9 points. Well, it's not great, but I'm going with it. This board is super tight. I've picked up the J, so I can play Jiffy next go, which scores more than 9 points. But my opponent really should be opening the board up, I think, to give himself a chance. I've also got jab. And the nice thing about both Jiffy and jab is that I keep the A, which is the only vowel that I have. It would be annoying to play, say, the J and the A off and draw 2 consonants and have 7 consonants. Because at the moment, I am able to play through the racks that I have. Great, just 6 points for my opponent. Jiffy, I think, must be the best play. 29 points, that's good. Okay, and I draw a consonant, which isn't so great. But I am ahead, and this board is incredibly blocked. Right, well, as long as it stays this blocked, I'm going to carry on playing low-scoring moves, because they're the only ones that are available, and my opponent has to open the board in order to win. Okay, 8 points. That's not good. This isn't a good board for C's, and now I have both of them. There is a spot to play a C next to the O of Zo to make coup. And there's also con in row B. There's 14 tiles left, plus the 7 on my opponent's rack. And I've got 5 minutes and 23 seconds. Although it looks like there's an opportunity for my C in playing cab, that would of course open the board for words ending, well, it creates the scab possibility. Okay, coup, I think. And yet again I pick a consonant. This board is grinding to a halt. But I do have places that I can play. I can play id next to the I of viol, and I can play dab. But as long as I've only got one vowel, I do wish to retain it. I've got nearly 400 points, which is surprising. It doesn't feel like a 400-point game. Okay, now what I can do here is play candy. The C is a great blocking tile. The duplicate R is not much of a problem because there are no R's left in the bag. Cardi would be a better play. I have a scintilla of doubt about Cardi. And I notice also there are two N's in the bag. So there's probably not a great deal between Candy and Cardi. Duplicate R is certainly more manageable than duplicate N. Okay. Ooh. No vowels at all, but surely I am sufficiently ahead that this game is won. I can see at the bottom the tiles that are left in the bag, 3 E's, 3 S's, 2 U's amongst them. There are bingos using those letters. Gosh, my opponent has opened the board up. I've got under 4 minutes left. I think I need to block this, to block his bingo's ending in S by playing through the A of candy. Gan does that quite nicely. It's a horrible leave, GRRST, but Gan does the job very nicely. It crushes the board. The opening provided by Sud is extinguished. Done. And I draw a vowel, which is good. There's only one tile left in the bag. My opponent's outlook is bleak. Yeah, he's created a bingo opening, but even if he got a bingo, he would lose because he's so far behind. But how can we minimize his possibilities of playing a bingo? We can actually see now the rack that he has. It's EEMSSU blank. He can't play a word ending in S because SE is not a word, but ME is and EE is. Okay, I don't have time to assess if he does have a bingo. But let's see what this does. If If I play Grin, okay, I don't like that. The U can go next to the G. Okay, let's take that back. Okay, I can put the N or the T or the R next to the E. Well, I'd like to know if my opponent has a bingo. If I knew, then my decision would be easier. Tricky. Okay, I don't like it. But I can't see anything better, so I'm going to play it. I'm briefly running through the possibilities for the blank to see if my opponent does have a bingo. Well, he has resumes, but that doesn't play, thankfully. And I can't see anything else. Now, I've only got 28 seconds left on my clock. I do have the S. I don't think I can play all three of my tiles. But can I stick the S on the end of anything to good effect? Ah, I've got TSK and socks. So I've got tusk and socks in the first row, which is quite nice. I'm struggling to play anything with this board, but this is a nice position to be in. I can't see anything better than TSK. I guess my opponent is trying hard to find a bingo, or to make best use of the H1 triple word square. Either way, I don't think he's going to block my TSK. Although maybe he should, because I certainly can't make use of the openings around Grin. And he could play Musk. So do I have an alternative play to TSK if that is blocked? Okay. A moot point, because I can play it. Muays is good, no phonies created with that. He hasn't created any opportunities for me. If I play TSK, Yeah, I think that's got to be best. My opponent's got ES, he is going to go out. So we're just in the death throes of this game. I need to pay attention because it is quite easy to overlook the fact that your opponent has hit the clock, and with only 6 seconds left I would not want to go overtime, and I have to accept his play to stop the clock and the game, which I think is by clicking pass. Oh, pass. Wow. Well, having given myself that warning, I then did miss the fact that he'd played. That was, what did my opponent play at the end? Played ES at M2. Oh yes, ES and S. Well, that was a very tight board. It's the tightest that I've recorded on video, so I think there were some interesting learning opportunities or positions in that game, which I hope you enjoyed watching. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.